let's head to the mat. We can start laying down today if that sounds good to you. I'm gonna grab a little pillow there, and that might be it for me today. So you might find Shavasana here with your arms and legs extended, just taking up as much space as you'd like. If that's not comfortable in your low back or for any other reason, maybe taking constructive rest pose, bending your knees and standing your feet up near the edges of your mat. You fine tune your positioning, just paying attention to any relief or release you might feel as you just let yourself lie here, taking a lot of the physical pressure off of the body here. Maybe it's your first time lying down in your day today. So just taking this in for a few moments with no expectations. You might close your eyes or slow down your breath. You might start to notice any areas of tension or gripping. And if you do, just slowly working with those areas. Each exhale, maybe finding a way to soften up a little bit more. If it's clear and easy for you to breathe through your nose today, let's check in with our mouth posture, oral posture. Relaxing your jaw, but then sealing your lips, creating just a little tiny bit of space between the biting surfaces of your teeth. Your teeth might be so close that if and when we start to hum here in a little bit, you might hear or feel your teeth kind of vibrating together. So they're quite close, but not clenching in any way. And that just allows for an easier route of passage for the air through the nose. And we'll go through about 3 rounds here next of our bumblebee breath. So the simple variation where we're just going to inhale and then exhale with a hum. So sustaining a humming sound. It could be a single note or kind of a combination of notes, or if you have a word you'd rather chant, or anything like that, let's do that. We're just kind of clearing, using vibration and vocalization to bring us a little more present, clear out all the extra noise. So in your own timing here, let's do 3 rounds, inhaling and then humming. You could play with the intensity of your hum. Maybe a nice gentle hum could take quite a bit longer, whereas a loud one might be a little shorter. Just go ahead and experiment. And if you want, bringing your teeth a little closer, hearing that little buzz, that little vibration between your teeth, just keep playing with it. 3 rounds total. Eventually resting in stillness and feeling any ripple effects. If you'd like to set an intention or dedication for your practice, now's a great time to bring something to mind. Let's take 3 clearing breaths together, inhaling through the nose and sigh it out. 2 more. Beginning to wiggle your fingers and toes. You might let your head rock side to side. Stretching a little through your shoulders, maybe on your way to a long body stretch with arms and legs reaching in opposite directions. You might be circling your ankles and wrists and just generally kind of ironing everything out here with a nice big stretch. Ooh, all right. And then we'll let the arms go out wide here. Your choice if your legs stay extended or if you bend them and find constructive rest. I'm going to do that. So standing my feet up, letting my knees come together at the center. Depending on the tightness of your shoulders, you might want to grab hold of some kind of big pillow, but we'll see. So the arms are out wide here first, and then go ahead and close your arms up, bringing the right arm on top of the left, holding on to opposite shoulders or opposite elbows, whatever you can comfortably reach here. If it's not comfortable, again, maybe holding on to something a little bit bigger so your arms or your shoulders don't have to crunch in too far. So I'm going to do a little bit of experimenting here. We're going to try to target a little bit of stretch right between the shoulder blades. We'll press the elbows kind of away here. Round and roll, rock and roll a little bit through the upper body, side to side. So just kind of tilting elbows to one side and then the other, seeing if you can get some nice massaging pressure there between the shoulder blades. You could even kind of circle your arms if you have the space. You can always kind of add on where you want. Eventually, we'll open the arms back out wide and pause. See if you can take an inhale and just kind of create the sensation of just a very mini back bend, more so like we're puffing the chest up. So inhale, puff the chest up, widening through the collarbones, maybe getting this very subtle sense of stretch there through the chest. And then we'll close it back up. This time the left arm could come on top of the right or whichever way is different than before, grabbing opposite arms or shoulders, reaching your shoulders out and then rocking side to side again, finding any little areas. Ooh, I found a very tender spot. For me, I really like to kind of circle, like do a circling motion when I have the pressure on like the target area. But that's just me. It can also be really nice if you do have a lot of knots in your back. Doing something like this with a balled up pair of socks or even just one sock, depending on how tender the area is, can just be a lifesaver. And then letting your arms come back out. Take a pause. And then we'll hug the knees in toward the chest. A little bit more massaging pressure there, this time on the lower back. So circling your knees a little bit. We'll eventually end up in a seat. So at some point, maybe rocking and rolling up and down the spine a couple times, or just turning onto either side and then pressing your way up to a seat. And we'll just set up the foundation. So noticing your sitting bones, grounding down on the floor or up on some cushioning, sitting up nice and tall, feeling the alignment, the length of your spine. Seeing if we can really extend upwards through the crown of the head. With an inhale, let's reach both hands high. Exhale, goalpost the arms, bending the elbows, hugging the shoulder blades back behind you. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, little back bend again, cactus the arms. Inhale, reaching high. And exhale, lower your hands to heart center, tucking your chin as your hands arrive. Pause there with your chin just kind of resting downward. Check in with your spine here. Just kind of sitting up like 80% tall. Let the right ear rock toward the right shoulder, noticing you kind of sense a stretch there through the left side. Let your left shoulder relax, or even take some little slow circles or semicircles. Kind of getting into a little bit of a somatic yoga when it's these little inner experiences that don't necessarily look like there's a lot going on. And then we'll let the chin come down toward the center of your chest before giving that left side a turn. Letting your left ear just rest and soften toward the left shoulder. Maybe circling or semicircling that right shoulder a little bit, or just kind of hanging out. Take a few more moments, letting your head go side to side. And then we'll start to take a little forward fold over our crossed legs here. So maybe your forearms come down to your knees today, and we just kind of fold a little bit. You could bring your hands down to the floor in front of you if you can reach. Just seeing what's natural here as a forward fold goes. This can be another kind of nice one if you have a big pillow you could hug. If you ever just kind of hold on to it, your back can really stretch. Okay, and then coming back. Let's move along to hands and knees, cat and cow next. So knees below the hips. And then inhale, cow pose, lowering the belly, lifting your gaze and tailbone. Exhale, cat, rounding your spine up, tucking through the chin, tucking through the tailbone. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Take your time as you continue this flowing movement, linking your breath to each part, each pose. We'll eventually meet up in extended child's pose with the knees out wide and the big toes touching. Finding today's variation of this pose, maybe finding your way to your forearms today. You could grab a block and rest your forehead maybe up on a block, just getting a little more relief there through the upper back and the neck. Or classic, walking your hands up toward the top of your mat and then sinking your head and heart down. As you arrive, take about 5 breaths. All right, next we're going to be heading to our stomachs, and let's try kind of doing like the slithery route where you keep your nose like as close to the ground as you can and you just kind of like slide through to your belly. So for me it's like my forearms want to stay down and you just kind of head forward. Just experiment with it. Could be fun. Either we end up in our baby cobra position here, but we're not going to be baby cobra here right away. If it feels okay, resting your forehead on the floor or on blocks or even up on your stacked hands or fists. We're going to go ahead and bend both knees. So your feet are hanging out in the air now. Take a breath in. Exhale, lower and straighten just your right leg. With your inhale, switch. So the left leg lowers as the right knee bends and lifts. So with each breath, we switch. We're going to inhale, switch, and exhale, switch. So just linking up your breath to this movement. All right, let both of your legs go straight. With an inhale, let's find our baby cobra now. So we're lifting up the head and heart just a little bit. Let's go about halfway because we'll hang out in the lifted baby cobra position for just a little bit here. So as you're in this halfway lift baby cobra, see what it's like when your legs are not engaged. Like let your legs just kind of fall down to the floor. And then see what it's like to press the tops of your feet into the floor and activate your legs and your glutes. And just feel that difference there with the activation and then like the softening. So the difference there is a lot of people say, a lot of physical therapists that I've been following and talking to say like a strong core is a core that is always working or always assisting you in your movements. So I want you to just notice like when your legs are not engaged and they're not really working, even if the chest is lifted, we are using some of our core muscles, but adding on that push of the legs just adds on this kind of this synergetic connection, if you will, between those parts of your body. And go ahead and lower down. I'm sure that felt like quite a bit. Let's find crocodile pose with the hands underneath your forehead, letting your heels splay out to the sides. Two more breaths, seeing if you can really get into that diaphragmatic breath. Low and slow. One more. All right, bringing hands on either side of your chest. Let's just do one more baby cobra for good measure. Nice, good form here. Inhale, rising up, feeling your body all working together. Exhale, press your way up to tabletop and back to child's pose. This time, let's bring our knees a little closer together and just rest here in your child's pose for about one more breath. And then let's head on up. We'll find our first downward facing dog here. So grabbing hold of your blocks. We'll curl the toes under and in your own way, ending up in downward dog. Finding and maintaining a nice smooth breath. Maybe pedaling out your legs, bending and straightening opposite knees. Maybe lifting and lowering to tippy toes or anything else. All right, let's start to walk the feet up. We're going to take a ragdoll pose here. So letting your upper body get length and traction here with the help of gravity. And you could be still or you could sway. You could grab opposite elbows or just let your arms dangle. Soon here, we're going to turn this into a wide-legged ragdoll or forward fold. Go ahead and grab onto your blocks on the highest setting if you want to use them. Toe heel your feet out, maybe even off of your mat slightly, just kind of a wide-legged, not as wide as you can go, but and then lower back down, maybe grabbing hold of opposite elbows again if that's what you were doing before, and just kind of seeing how it changes with the legs a little wider. We're going to be working with this wide-legged position here today in our class. So we'll have kind of an opportunity to get kind of a new perspective. Okay, let's halfway lift here. And I'm going to use my blocks when I halfway lift from a wide-legged position. I encourage you to do the same just so you have a little more support. So I'm pressing my hands in and I'm getting into that straight spine kind of position. All right, so this is our halfway lift today. Go ahead and toe heel your feet into the center and then make your way all the way up to stand. Give it a little shake at the top. Make sure everything's working, loosen anything up, or grab a sip of water if you need to. And then we will continue on. All right. Okay. So instead of beginning at the top of our mat like we normally do for our sun salutations and flow, we will be taking a wide-legged stance from the side. So let's give it a try. So we're going to start here. A little bit of a wide-legged stance. Inhale, lift your arms up and overhead. Exhale, open arm twist toward the right. So the right arm reaches back, the left arm reaches forward. Inhale, come back up to center, unwind. Exhale, open arm twist toward the left. Inhale, unwind. And exhale, fold. Grabbing your blocks if you're using them. Inhale, halfway lift. And then we'll walk our hands and our blocks to the top edge of the mat and lower your right knee down to the mat. Yes. Okay. Blocks come down to the floor here. Curl your right toes under. Pick up that right knee. Do your best to step the left foot back to downward dog. Big breath in and out. Inhale, come forward to your high plank, shoulders over wrists. Exhale, lower all the way down. Inhale, baby cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, child's pose. Big breath in and out. Inhale, rise up, tabletop, coming back to the blocks, and exhale, downward dog. Breathing in and out. Breathing in, out. Last breath in, and last breath out. Inhale, bend your knees, look up toward the top of your mat. Exhale, step just the right foot forward. Go ahead and lower your left knee down to the floor. And then take your left foot across your mat so it ends up like a kickstand on the right edge of your mat. We're going to rise on up and find our low warrior two. So the right leg, the right knee is reaching forward. That left leg is just for support behind us. Arms go out wide in each direction. See what it's like to be a little too far forward, a little too far back. And then see about stacking your shoulders more or less above your hips. So you get, kind of a nice straight alignment. Lengthen upward through the crown of your head. Take a breath in. Exhale, sinking into that right knee just a little bit. Inhale, feel your strength here. And exhale. Let's make our way to reverse triangle. So let's straighten the right leg. Your right toes can come up off of the floor if you'd like. And the right arm lifts. The left arm just kind of hangs out there or even tucks behind your back. Big breath in. And exhale back to warrior two, planting that right foot, reaching one. All right, bring your hands back down to your blocks. Flip that left foot back, curl your left toes under, pick up that left knee, and then walk your hands over to the left edge of your mat, wide-legged forward fold to the back. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold, bending your knees just a little bit. Inhale, rise all the way up, reaching both arms high overhead. Exhale, hands come down to heart center. Start to toe heel your feet in. And just take a few moments to be in this samastitihi, equal standing pose. And a clearing breath here in through the nose. And decide to release. Let's go with one of our humming breaths next, in through the nose. Your choice of a hum on the way out. Eventually coming back to a steady pace of breath. Blinking your eyes open when you're ready. Let's toe heel the feet back out, wide. Inhale, lifting both hands high. Grab hold of your left wrist. Take a little side bend to the left. So we're really going to be reaching even from that left hip. If you'd rather have a little more support here, you could bring your right hand down to your side or your thigh or the wall for a little more support. Inhale, come up to center. We'll switch sides. Exhale, side bending to the left. Taking at least a breath or two here, finding we're working with variations. And then come on back up to center. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, walk your hands now to the back side of your mat. So we end up facing that the right foot at the top edge of your mat. Go ahead and lower your left knee down. I forgot what we did on the first side here, so we're going to wing it. Okay, inhale. Let's come all the way up. Crescent. Little back bend here. Exhale, hands come to heart center, really tightening up the core here so we stay balanced. Let's do that again. Inhale, lifting your arms up, maybe looking up, and exhale, coming down to heart center. One last time like that. Inhale, reaching high. And exhale, hands to heart center. Lower both hands down to your blocks. Curl your left toes under, pick up your left knee, and then step your right foot back, downward dog. There we go. Inhale here, and exhale. Inhale, roll forward, high plank, shoulders over wrists. Take a big breath in, and exhale, lower your way down. Inhale, baby cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, child's pose, pressing up and back. Big breath in and out. One more breath here in and out. Inhale, come up, tabletop, grabbing hold of your blocks, and exhale, downward dog. Your choice if you keep your feet as they are or walk your feet out for a wide-legged down dog. 2 more breaths. Stepping your feet back together if they were out wide. And with an inhale, look forward toward the top of your mat. Exhale, step just the left foot forward and lower your right knee down. Okay, I have to turn to the other side. So. Okay, so the right knee is back. Now we're going to kickstand the right foot off of your mat. So twisting your right knee behind you. We're going to come up to our warrior 2 with the left arm reaching forward and the right arm reaching back. Baby warrior 2. Take a look at your left knee. If your thigh had an arrow on it, just kind of notice where that knee is pointing. There's not necessarily like a right and a wrong here, but generally we would say having like that arrow straight off the center of your thigh going, more or less through the center of your foot, maybe slightly externally rotated or, outward. Let's have that awareness here. And then we'll move to our reverse triangle. We're straightening that left leg. You can keep your toes down if that's comfortable, or let those left toes come up. Reach your left hand high. Take a nice strong breath in and exhale back to our mini warrior 2. Last breath in and exhale. Bring your hands down to your blocks. Curl the right toes under. Pick up that right knee. Walk your hands around to the right side, to the long edge of your mat. Forward fold. Wide-legged forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Nice flat, long spine. And exhale, fold. This time, bend your knees a little extra. Let's reverse swan dive to rise. So our arms are going to reach out first. Then we'll hinge upward from the hips. Join your hands high. Big exhale, bringing hands back to the heart. Take your time toe heeling your feet in. Smoothing your breath. Remembering your intentions. let's take a clearing breath and then a humming breath, one after the other. So big breath in through the nose, and a sigh. Breathing in through the nose and hum. All right, when you're ready, blinking your eyes open, letting your hands come down. Let's do a little bit of balancing next. Let's do our tree pose, always a good one. If you want more spice, you can always add on a different surface. Like I would say having, if you're normally on a hard surface, if you try today to come onto some carpet or a blanket or something, that if you want the extra challenge, if it is a new surface with less stability, it'll certainly make your stabilizing muscles work a little bit more. And our brains love novelty. So if you're up for it, finding some kind of new surface to work with, make sure it's safe. I'm going to bring this actually close to a wall just in case. Let's start balancing on the right leg. So we'll get that tree pose, or that kickstand leg with the left leg out towards the left side. You can find your unmoving focal point if you'd like. And just spend maybe the next 10 breaths or so working with your tree pose. Maybe you slide that left foot up a little higher. Maybe your hands want to move or find some kind of little flow with it. You can always make things harder on yourself. You can purposely like destabilize yourself, or just kind of push some of your edges. Ooh, that was fun. And then whenever you've eventually had enough, we can let it on down. See if you want to repeat that on the other side, give it a little shake out. Any adjustments? I liked that actually. So I'm going to do it on this little blanket here too. So balancing on the left foot, finding that support with the right foot on the right knee, opening up toward the right side. Find stability in your gaze, in your breath, in your posture. And then go ahead and fill these next maybe 7 or so breaths with play or balance or whatever you wish. Cookie break. It's your class, your time. Eventually, taking a step back down. Take your time though, no rush. Shake it out when you're ready, and then we'll head on down to the mat. Let's head all the way down for a long body stretch, arms and legs out long, maybe circling any of your joints or limbs, your toes, your ankles, your shoulders. Just always feels nice to me to keep things kind of circling, swirling. All right, and then we'll do a couple breathing bridge poses here. So bending your knees, standing your feet up on the floor, and hands pressing down by either side with your inhale. Press down first through the feet and the arms, and then start to lift up your hips, reaching those hip points toward the sky. Press down through all edges of your feet as equally as you can. And then exhale, lower back down. Like your feet are just stuck, glued to the floor. Let's try that again. Adjusting your feet if it does not feel possible or comfortable to do that. Inhaling as we rise. Feel your feet. Feel those glutes and thighs. And exhale, lower. Let's take about 3 more very deep breaths as we go and just see if we can maintain a full expansive breath, like we're relaxing, even though we're working. Just about 1 more. And then we'll hug the knees back in toward your chest, getting some nice expansion through the low back, maybe a little bit more of that massaging over that area. Okay. And then we'll turn on to the right side. Coming to the fetal position, the right arm will be outstretched to the right side. And we'll stack the left hand on top of the right for our Feldenkrais method twists here through our shoulders. So hands are stacked here, just like before when we were massaging between the shoulder blades. Let's reach both hands forwards. We're kind of poking out through the spine, puffing up that area, stretching there. And then we'll retract the left hand across the right arm, across your collarbones, and whatever feels like open to you. Feel free to hang out in any just enjoyable areas here. Maybe try opening and closing a couple times, bending your left elbow so the left fingertips touch the left head of the shoulder, sliding across your collarbones all the way back down until your hands meet again, reaching like we did before. Go ahead and play with that a couple of rounds through. On this last round, or just kind of finishing up where you're at here before we head to the other side. So next time your arms are open, just hang out there for an extra breath. And let's start to switch sides. So in your own way, you can kind of shimmy on over to the other side, coming to the left side, of course. Now, straightening out that left arm to the left side, stack your other hand on top and reach your shoulder, right between your shoulder blades here. You're feeling that stretch, and then retract. Pull that right hand across your left arm, across your collarbones, and as open as you'd like. Take your time as you explore this movement. Eventually bending your right elbow and touching the right shoulder with the fingertips and sliding across and back down your arm till your hands stack again. This is a really good one for waking up in the morning for me. And then next time your arms are wide open, pausing there for another breath or so. And we'll start to find our way to our final rest. So scooting on back to the center of your mat, maybe finding your Shavasana corpse pose, similar to how we started today, or maybe constructive rest with your knees bent. You can always explore new variations or just follow a whim. Taking several of the best breaths of your day, if you can, whatever that means. Maybe working with the energy of your breath and your awareness to just kind of do some maintenance on the body, relaxing areas that are tight. Maybe sending love to different parts of the body that just maybe need it. Letting everything just slow down just for a few minutes here. Letting all of today's movement, twisting, turning, bending, strengthening, letting all of that work integrate, letting your body kind of sort things out and have a moment of rest as appreciation. As you're ready, enjoying a couple more breaths before inviting some movement back in if you're ready. If you're not ready and you want to keep resting, please do. Don't feel pressured to end at the same time as me. Wiggling fingers and toes, or maybe stretching, yawning, or swallowing a few times. Eventually making your way to the fetal pose on either side, slightly tucking in your knees. Take a full breath there. See if you can maybe even just pretend that you're in no rush. And then pressing your way up to a comfortable seat. Let's join our hands at heart center. Taking a moment to recall your intention if you set one today. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace. May we have peace in our actions, peace in our words, and peace in our thoughts. Bringing thumbs up to third eye center now. Let's take a little bow forward together and seal in our practice. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. Hope you enjoyed today's class. As always, let me know if you have thoughts or questions or requests for next time. And I will hope to see you all again soon.